Hari Om. We'll chant the Shanti mantra together. Om Bhadran Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangaih Stuštuvagam Sastanovihi Veshema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaah Swasti nastaksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We shall chant from verse number 10, section 2. Ishtapurtam manyamana varishtham Nanyashreyo vedayante pramodhaha Nakasya prishthe te sukritenu bhutva Imam lokam hinataram vavishanti Tapashraddheye yupavasantyaranye Shanta vidvamso bhaikshcharyam charantah Suryadvarena te viraja prayanti Yatra amritassa purusho hyavyayatma Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmanaha Nirvedamayat nastya kritakritena Tad vijnanartham saguru meva bhigachet Samit panihi shrotriyam brahmanishtham. So the two types of knowledge was indicated, Apara and Para. And in this section, the teacher talks about the Apara Vidya, which involves the sense of doership, and we perform various types of karma, and we get the results. Also involves upasana, and that also gives rise to the results. But one who thinks that itself is the supreme is ignorant, and steeped in ignorance experiences different types of calamities and suffering. So one has to understand the limitations of this karma and the karma phala, that what we desire is infinity. What we want is that which is eternal. And this desire is there deep within each one of us. We are born with this desire. All of us are seeking our own supreme self. All beings, they ultimately are seeking to recognize their own self and get established in their own self. Just as the water, which is in the room temperature, it is cool. When you heat the water and keep it aside, it again tries to go back to its natural state. So everything in nature wants to go back to its natural state. That is true for all living beings, and it is true for human beings also. So we also desire to go back to our own natural state, which is that infinity, that supreme bliss, that pure existence, consciousness, and bliss. And this cannot be attained through karma, because when we perform karma, there is this sense of doership. The actions are limited and the results are also limited. Even the actions which we perform, which are indicated in the Vedas, which are very subtle, and they give rise to subtle results, but those results are also limited. Even if we happen to reach the Swargalok, it is not lasting. Again we come back at a lower level and again strive to attain the fulfillment of our desires. So this cycle goes on and on. Those who are involved in some upasana, maximum they can also attain the Brahmalok, but that is also not the ultimate state. So one has to understand the limitation of this karma. Hence in this verse, the Rishi says, Parikshalokan karma chitan brahmano nirvedam ayat. That the brahmana, the wise seeker, should do pariksha of all the results, all the lokas which one gain through karma. That what I seek, is it there in the results of action? In the world also we find that everyone is involved doing various types of actions and get different types of results. All of them are temporary. Unfortunately, we think that that is how it is. That is the way of life. There is nothing greater than this. There is nothing different than this. But when we study the scriptures, we come to know that there is certainly something different, something superior. So when we do the pariksha, the testing of this karma and the upasana, we understand that what we are seeking is not the result of action, but it is the result of recognition, knowledge, because we are seeking that which is eternal. Eternal cannot be created with action. Eternal cannot be the result of upasana. Eternal is that which is always present. Infinite is that which is always present. And the scripture says that is my real nature. It is always present. What I am seeking is already present. What I am seeking is already attained. But I have to recognize that. And that can happen only through knowledge. And that knowledge is what we call the Vidya. Not theoretical knowledge, not just bookish knowledge, but that knowledge which gives direct experience, the Apuroksha Anubhuti of our own self. So when one understands this deeply, one gains vairagya. This vairagya is the result of vivek. It is not the result of, many times people experience great suffering in this world and they seem to have gained vairagya, but that is not the real vairagya. Once that suffering is over or some situation changes, again we run after something else. The real vairagya happens when we do the vivek and understand what is real and what is not real, what is eternal and what is temporary. Nitya, Anitya Vivek gives rise to that vairagya. So here this is very important verse. It's a turning point wherein the person who was involved in karma and upasana now moves towards knowledge, the higher knowledge. So nirvedam ayat. And what is his thinking? How he arrived at this vairagya? He understood the law that na asti akritah kritena, that which is akritah, that which is uncreated, that which is eternal, that which is infinite, cannot be attained through action. Action maintains the sense of doership also. Action is performed by the ego. Ego is the doer of the action. And as long as an ego is fed by the desires, and as long as a person continues performing action, the ego is also maintained. The existence of the ego is also maintained. So it is a catch-22 situation. So ego performs the action, we get the result, we get attached to the result, we enjoy this result temporarily, we want more of it, it creates more desire in our heart, again we perform action. So this goes on and on for a long time. It's that itself is called karma bandhan or the karma chakra. And if the thing doesn't happen in one lifetime, then we take up another body and continue with our actions in the other lifetime. It goes on and on for a long time till we gain the ultimate knowledge. So na asti akritah kritena, that which is infinite is not the result of action. It is not the result of action. Then what should I do? I have understood the limitation of karma, upasana. What is the next step? Says that you have to gain that supreme knowledge, gain that direct state of enlightenment. For that you approach a teacher. So tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva vigachet. One approaches a master, one approaches a teacher. Teacher is one who has gained that knowledge. Teacher is one who is established in that supreme truth. Shrotriyam brahmanishtham, a jivan mukta purush. One who is aware of the world, who is aware of the body, but who knows that this whole world is just names and forms, just an illusion. One who knows that I am not this body. He is called a Jivan Mukta, who sees the same reality everywhere. He is the Jivan Mukta. So such a realized person one should approach and gain this wisdom from such a master. So Samit Panihi, with proper humility, one should approach such a master and learn. In Gita also Bhagavan says, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, that you know this supreme truth by approaching a master with proper humility, with seva, and asking questions, and then learning this truth. So Guru meva vigachet, samit panihi. By ourselves, even if we are very intelligent, by ourselves, we won't be able to arrive at the understanding. We need the help of the teacher and the scriptures. So samit panihi shrotriyam brahmanishtham. So after approaching such a master, this is the role of the student. So what is the role of the teacher? What should the teacher do? That is now said in the next mantra. Tasmai savidvan upasannaya samyaka prashanta chittaya shamanvitaya enaksharam purusham veda satyam प्रोवाच तां तत्त्वतो ब्रह्मविद्याम् तस्मै स विद्वानुपसन्नाय सम्यक् Tasmai sa Vidwan. That Vidwan, the Jivan Mukta, the master, the teacher, should teach the student who has approached him properly. So, Upasannaya Samyaka, with proper attitude, when one approaches the master, when we approach with the attitude of learning, with jidnyasa. Many times people approach in order to test or in order to what you call reveal their own understanding or knowledge. They keep there's a story about our Pujya Gurudev's teacher, Swami Taponji Maharaj. So once a great Pandit approached him and he started discussing and arguing with the teacher. So Taponji Maharaj told Gurudev to bring a lota of filled with water. So he brought. Then he said, okay, now bring some more water and pour it into this. It was already filled. But who will argue with him? So he started pouring. And whatever water he poured, it fell down, overflowed. So that Pandit was quite surprised that what is wrong with this master? Why is he behaving like this? Then he asked him that this water, this lota is already filled. Why you are filling more? He said, same is the case with you. You are already filled up. You have filled your brain, your mind with all sorts of knowledge, which is really speaking not knowledge. Different types of misunderstanding, different confusions. See, when we are a clean slate or when we go open with the attitude of learning, it is easier to learn. But those who have already studied and created different confusion in their mind, to teach them is an impossible task. So, one should approach with proper respect and humility in order to learn. So, Vidwan Upasannaya Samyaka. And what are the qualifications of that student? Prashanta Chittaya Shamanvitaya. Briefly it is mentioned here, but a lot of qualifications are mentioned. Prashanta Chitta. Our Chitta should be absolutely calm and peaceful in order to grasp this subtle understanding. Our mind becomes peaceful when we gain that vairagya, when we don't have any other agenda in our head, when we don't have any other desires and passions and cravings in our mind, then the mind becomes absolutely peaceful. It is not running into the future, it is not running into the past, it has become absolutely peaceful. Prashanta Chitta. This is the most important quality. So Vivek is indicated like Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan Brahmano. Then Vairagya was indicated Nirvedam Ayat. Then here is indicated the other qualities Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, and Mumukshutvam. That intense desire for liberation, the student has approached the master, and Shama, he has got that Prashanta Chitta, total control over his mind. His mind has become absolutely calm and peaceful. Then we are able to comprehend what the teacher is conveying. It is a very subtle truth. So we should be available for that. We should have enough leisure. We should be available. In modern times, people are so busy that we don't have that type of patience and real leisure to sit, relax, and try to understand. So that is very important quality we should have. So prashanta, prakarshena shanta, not only shanta but prashanta, supremely peaceful chitta. Chitta is the subtlest level of our mind. Last time, I think, last Yajna also had mentioned. So there are different layers in our mind. Outermost is the senses are there. Deeper than the senses is our mind, which thinks, what you call sankalpa, vikalpa. Below that is our buddhi. Below that is our ahankar. And below that is the chitta. Chitta is the very deep level of our mind. All the impressions which we gather about the world, collected from the senses, the emotions which is felt in the mind, the understanding which we gather in our buddhi, the sense of doership which we have, all the impressions are there on the chitta. Chitta is like the film which collects all the impressions. So that chitta, when it becomes absolutely calm and peaceful, then the knowledge happens without any interference. Otherwise, the mind interferes, senses interferes first. Like we are sitting for pravachan also, the senses, they interfere. Suddenly someone's phone rings and the whole attention gets shifted there. Then our mind interferes, sankalpa, vikalpa, emotions, intellect interferes, ahankar interferes. But when all of them becomes absolutely peaceful, then the words of the Master reaches the innermost depth of our mind, and one understands it. The capacity to understand is there in the chitta by its very nature. That chitta is the part of the supreme, what you call intelligence. It's part of that Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, there are even, for example, a child who is there in the mother's womb also can be taught, because the mind and the senses and all are very calm and peaceful. The knowledge can be conveyed even to a child. So it's very important that we develop that quietude of our mind. Even when we quieten our mind and read the Upanishads, it penetrates in a better way within. So prashanta chittaya, shamanvitaya, one who has complete control over his senses, whose senses also have become very shanta, means dhamma. Senses are under control. The hands, the legs, the eyes, ears, all the organs of action as well as perception are also under control. Such a student like Nachiketa, when he approaches a master, then what should the teacher do? He says, Provacha tam tattvato brahma vidyam. You teach. So this is a scripture, this is a mantra which is telling the teacher that you teach such a disciple, such a student. Provacha, prakarshena uvacha. You teach him very well. What? Brahma vidyam, the knowledge of that Brahma. Tattvataha, in its essence, the essential knowledge of that Brahma you reveal to this student. then what will happen? Because what the teacher is revealing are the words. What the teacher is revealing are also there, the words are there in the Upanishads also. So he is revealing the words, but those words have the power to give that experience. So he says, Ena aksharam purusham veda satyam. He says that Brahma Vidya, when it is comprehended by the student, and when he contemplates upon it and meditates on it, then he will be able to experience Ena aksharam purusham, that purusha, akshara purusha, that supreme immutable reality, which is satyam, which is the absolute truth. Veda will come to recognize it, will be able to experience it directly when it is taught by a great master, and when it is taken with by a very calm and peaceful and a well qualified student, then that knowledge will happen. The words will do their miracle. The words will bring about that transformation, and that knowledge, the direct experience will happen. So, ena aksharam purusham veda satyam provachatam tattvato brahma vidyam. So, a master should teach a student who has approached properly and who is well qualified. So, thus concludes this section, the second section. So, it began with the first section began with that question of that student, that what is that one knowing which everything becomes known. So, as a reply to him was given that there are two types of knowledge, the Apara and the Para. Apara is all the Vedas and all the Vedangas, but Para is that by which one recognizes, realizes that Akshara Brahma directly. So Apara Vidya was mentioned, the karma and upasana and their limitations. And once we gain vairagya from that, one becomes fit to gain the Para Vidya, by which we come to comprehend that supreme Akshara Tattva.